Respect. It's something we all crave, yet sometimes it feels as though it quietly eludes us. Have you ever left a conversation feeling unseen, your words brushed aside? Do people frequently cancel plans with you or seem hesitant to trust you with important matters? You might think, why are they so dismissive? But have you considered that the root of this behavior might lie not in them, but in you? What if, without realizing it, you've adopted habits that subtly invite others to undervalue you? These aren't obvious mistakes. They can masquerade as social norms or even politeness. But over time, they erode the foundation of respect others hold for you. This is where the wisdom of Stoicism comes in, a philosophy that invites us to examine our actions, to strip away what is unnecessary, and to focus on what truly matters. The good news? By recognizing and addressing these 5 toxic habits, you can reclaim the respect you deserve. Stay with me as we explore how these habits work against you, why they clash with Stoic principles, and most importantly, how you can replace them with actions that inspire admiration and trust. The final habit? It's a silent thief of your self-worth. Let's uncover it together. 1. Being inconsistent or unreliable. The fastest way to lose respect. Reliability is the cornerstone of trust. When we say we will do something and then fail to follow through, what message does that send? It tells others that our words are empty, that we value their time and commitments less than our own convenience. Consider this. How often have you cancelled plans at the last minute or showed up late without much thought? Perhaps you promised to deliver something, an assignment, a favor, or even just your presence, and then failed to do so. Each of these moments may seem small in isolation, but together they form a pattern that others notice. In Stoicism, there's a deep emphasis on consistency. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself to be steadfast in his actions, to be reliable not because others demanded it, but because it was a reflection of his character. Ask yourself, am I someone others can depend on, or do I falter when it's inconvenient? When we're inconsistent, we inadvertently disrespect others by showing that we don't prioritize their needs or trust. Worse still, this behavior affects not just others, but also how we perceive ourselves. Every broken promise chips away at our self-esteem. We begin to doubt our ability to live up to our own values, creating a cycle of guilt and frustration. But how do we escape this trap? Start small. The Stoics taught that great virtues are built through small, repeated actions. If you make a promise, no matter how minor, keep it. If you say you'll arrive at 10, be there at 9:55. If you can't honor a commitment, communicate as early and honestly as possible. Don't overcommit in an attempt to please everyone. Instead, learn to say no when necessary, so that when you say yes, it truly means something. Think of reliability as a muscle. The more you practice, the stronger it becomes. And as your reliability grows, so too will the respect others have for you. They will see that your word carries weight, that you are someone who values not only their time, but also your own integrity. Imagine a world where your friends, colleagues, and loved ones trust you implicitly, where your promises are met not with skepticism, but with confidence. This is the respect that comes from being dependable, a virtue deeply aligned with Stoic philosophy. And once you cultivate this virtue, it becomes a foundation upon which others can build their trust. But reliability alone isn't enough if your communication falters. In the next section, we'll explore why avoiding directness can create cracks in even the strongest relationships. 2. Displaying passive-aggressive behavior, the silent destroyer of respect. Imagine this scenario. You're upset with someone, but instead of addressing the issue directly, you mutter a sarcastic remark or give them the silent treatment. You think, they'll figure it out. But do they? And even if they do, what kind of message are you sending? Passive-aggressive behavior might feel like a safer route than confrontation, but in reality, it only creates distance. It signals to others that you're unwilling or unable to communicate openly. This lack of directness sows confusion and tension, leaving people to guess at your true feelings. It's exhausting for them and for you. Stoicism values clear and honest communication. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." When you resort to passive-aggressiveness, you deviate from this principle, creating a web of misunderstandings. Ask yourself, why am I avoiding the truth? What am I afraid of facing? Passive-aggressive behavior doesn't resolve conflict, it prolongs it. The unspoken words linger, poisoning relationships. The other person may sense your dissatisfaction, but feel powerless to address it. Over time, they might even begin to avoid you, perceiving you as someone who cannot be trusted to confront issues head-on. The Stoics remind us that courage is not just about physical bravery, but also about emotional honesty. It takes courage to say, "I am hurt," or "I disagree with you." But this kind of directness builds respect. People value those who face challenges and conflicts with openness and integrity. So how do you break free from passive-aggressiveness? Start by practicing mindful communication. When something bothers you, pause. Reflect on your emotions and the root of your frustration. Then, calmly and respectfully express your feelings. For example, instead of saying, "Fine, whatever," when you're upset, try saying, "I felt disappointed when you did this, and I'd like to talk about it." This shift won't happen overnight. It requires practice and patience, both with yourself and with others. But each time you choose directness over passive aggression, you strengthen your relationships and your character. Over time, you'll find that people respond to you with greater respect and openness, knowing they can trust you to handle conflicts maturely. Now, let's turn the lens inward. Have you noticed how passive aggressiveness affects your self-perception? When you avoid direct communication, you may feel powerless, as though you lack control over your interactions. This can lead to a cycle of resentment and self-doubt, further eroding your confidence. Breaking this habit isn't just about improving how others see you, it's about reclaiming your own sense of agency. If this resonates with you, take a moment to reflect and share your thoughts in the comments. Have you experienced the negative effects of passive-aggressive behavior, either from yourself or others? What steps have you taken or will take to communicate more openly? Let's build a community of growth and accountability. And if you're finding value in these insights, don't forget to like this video. Your engagement helps spread Stoic wisdom to others seeking personal growth. Up next, we'll tackle another silent relationship killer: gossip. How does talking behind someone's back ultimately harm your own standing? Stay with me as we explore the deceptive allure of this habit. 3. Gossiping about others, a shortcut to losing respect. Gossip. It's an easy trap to fall into. A shared secret here, a critique there. It can feel like a harmless way to bond with others. But at what cost? When you speak ill of someone behind their back, what do you gain? More importantly, what do you lose? Gossip erodes trust. If you're willing to criticize someone who isn't present, those around you will wonder, what do they say about me when I'm not around? This thought plants a seed of doubt and unease. Over time, people will begin to distance themselves, unwilling to confide in someone who might betray their trust. From a Stoic perspective, gossip is a distraction from what truly matters. Epictetus advised, "Be not concerned with the faults of others, but with your own." When you engage in gossip, you divert your energy from self-improvement to judgment. Ask yourself, am I focusing on others' flaws to avoid confronting my own? Moreover, gossip fosters a culture of negativity. It shifts the focus from solutions to problems, from growth to criticism. Conversations that could inspire and uplift become bogged down in pettiness and cynicism. And while gossip may make you feel temporarily informed or connected, it ultimately isolates you as people begin to associate you with negativity rather than support. How can you rise above this habit? Practice mindful speech. Before speaking about someone, ask yourself, is this true? Is this necessary? Is this kind? If the answer to any of these questions is no, choose silence. Redirect the conversation toward constructive topics, shared goals, new ideas, or positive reflections. If you find yourself in a group where gossip begins, be the one to shift the narrative. Highlight a positive trait of the person being discussed or steer the conversation toward a neutral subject. This not only sets a higher standard, but also positions you as someone who uplifts rather than tears down. In doing so, you align yourself with the Stoic virtue of wisdom, understanding what is and isn't worth your time and words. The respect you earn from this approach is deep and lasting. People will come to see you as a trustworthy and principled individual, someone who values integrity over idle chatter. Reflect on your own experiences. How has gossip impacted your relationships? Have you ever felt the sting of betrayal from overheard words? Share your insights in the comments below. Let's hold ourselves accountable to a higher standard of communication. But what happens when the habit isn't about what you say, but how often you say sorry? In the next section, we'll explore why over-apologizing, while seemingly harmless, can quietly undermine your confidence and respect. 4. Constantly apologizing. The hidden cost of over-apology. There's something deeply human about apologizing. It's a way to acknowledge mistakes, show empathy, and repair relationships. But what happens when apologies become excessive? When you find yourself saying, "I'm sorry," not only for genuine mistakes, but for things beyond your control, or even for simply existing, over-apologizing can quietly erode respect. Each unnecessary sorry signals to others that you doubt your own value. When you apologize for things that don't warrant it, you inadvertently project insecurity. Consider this. If someone bumps into you and your first instinct is to say, "I'm sorry," what are you communicating? You're accepting blame for something that wasn't your fault. Over time, this habit can make you appear submissive or even unsure of your own right to occupy space. From a Stoic perspective, unnecessary apologies are misaligned with the principle of self-respect. The Stoics believed in owning responsibility for what is within your control while letting go of what isn't. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Part of being a person of integrity is recognizing when an apology is truly necessary and when it is not. The danger of over-apologizing is twofold. First, it weakens the impact of your apologies when they are genuinely needed. If you constantly say sorry for trivial things, your heartfelt apologies lose weight. Second, it creates a narrative in which you are always at fault, even when you're not. This can lead others to treat you as someone who is easily taken advantage of or whose opinions hold less weight. But how do you break free from this cycle? Start by being mindful of when and why you apologize. The next time you're about to say sorry, pause and ask yourself, "Am I actually at fault here?" If not, consider replacing your apology with gratitude. For example, if you're late to a meeting, instead of saying, "Sorry, I'm late," try saying, "Thank you for waiting for me." This small shift reframes the interaction in a more positive and confident light. Additionally, practice standing firm in your decisions and opinions. If you frequently find yourself apologizing for sharing your thoughts or for taking up space, remind yourself of your intrinsic value. Your presence and contributions are meaningful, and you don't need to apologize for them. Overcoming the habit of over-apologizing isn't about becoming unapologetic. It's about aligning your apologies with genuine accountability and respect for both yourself and others. When you reserve your apologies for moments that truly warrant them, they regain their sincerity and power. Take a moment to reflect. Do you notice yourself apologizing excessively? How does it make you feel afterward? If you've taken steps to change this habit, share your journey in the comments. Your experiences might inspire others to reclaim their confidence as well. If this resonates with you, show your support by liking this video. Together, we can foster a community grounded in self-respect and Stoic principles. Next, we'll delve into a behavior that's just as pervasive yet equally damaging: seeking validation too much. How does constantly looking for others' approval chip away at your self-worth? Let's uncover this final habit. 5. Seeking validation too much. The quiet thief of self-worth. We live in a world where validation often feels like currency. Every like, comment, and nod of approval feeds into our sense of self. But what happens when our worth becomes tied to these external affirmations? When we constantly seek validation, we hand over control of our self-esteem to others. Think about it. How often do you find yourself fishing for compliments or anxiously checking your phone for reactions to a post? Do you frequently ask others, "Did I do a good job?" or "What do you think of this?" While seeking feedback can be valuable, an excessive reliance on it signals insecurity. It shows others that your confidence is fragile and dependent on their opinions. Stoicism teaches us that true confidence comes from within. Epictetus said, "If you are ever tempted to look for outside approval, realize that you have compromised your integrity. Your own worth is established by your character, not by the approval of others." Ask yourself, am I living according to my values, or am I constantly adjusting my actions to please others? The danger of seeking too much validation is that it places your self-worth on a shaky foundation. When others praise you, you feel uplifted. But when that praise is absent, or worse, when criticism arises, you're left questioning your value. This emotional roller coaster is exhausting and unsustainable. Breaking this habit requires a shift in focus. Instead of seeking validation from others, start cultivating self-approval. Set personal goals based on what matters to you and measure your success by your own standards. When you achieve something, take a moment to acknowledge your progress without immediately seeking external praise. Another powerful practice is self-affirmation. Each day, remind yourself of your strengths and accomplishments. These affirmations don't need to be grand. Even small wins, finishing a task, sticking to a routine, or showing kindness, deserve recognition. Over time, this practice builds an internal reservoir of confidence, making you less dependent on others' approval. When you shift your focus inward, you'll notice a profound change. You'll feel more grounded, more secure in your identity. And paradoxically, as you seek less validation from others, you'll find that people respect you more. They'll see you as someone who is self-assured and authentic, a person who stands firm in their values, regardless of external opinions. If this resonates with you, I invite you to reflect and share your thoughts in the comments. Have you struggled with seeking validation? What steps are you taking to shift your focus inward? Your story could be the encouragement someone else needs. If you're finding these insights valuable, don't forget to like this video. Your engagement helps us reach others who might benefit from the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. Respect is not something we demand. It is something we earn through our actions. Each of the habits we've discussed, being inconsistent, displaying passive-aggressive behavior, gossiping, over-apologizing, and seeking too much validation, can subtly erode respect. But the beauty of personal growth lies in its accessibility. With self-awareness and intentional effort, we can transform these habits into virtues. Stoicism teaches us that the path to respect begins within. By cultivating reliability, honesty, integrity, self-respect, and confidence, we align ourselves with values that naturally inspire admiration. These changes won't happen overnight, but each small step brings you closer to becoming the person others look up to. Which habit do you see in yourself, and which one will you focus on first? Share your journey in the comments. If this video resonated with you, give it a like, subscribe for more Stoic insights, and share it with someone who might need it. Thank you for watching, and may your journey towards self-improvement and respect be guided by wisdom and resilience.